Hi, I'm Rebecca Valcarcel. Let's take a look at part 4 of The Lady of Shalott by Alfred Lord Tennyson. For an interpretation of this poem, see one of my other videos. Let's go line by line. In the stormy east wind straining, the pale yellow woods were waning, the broad stream in his banks complaining. So already in the first 3 lines, we have a very different tone than in part 3. Part 3 was full of light and sun and brilliance, sparkling stuff. Here, there's rain, the river's complaining, everything's cloudy and low and sad. Heavily the low sky raining over towered Camelot. Down she came and found a boat beneath a willow left afloat, and round about the prow she rode, the Lady of Shalott. So here we have the Lady of Shalott. She has already left her tower, and she made the fatal decision to leave and look out her window and then come down here to this boat. And she writes on the prow, that means the front end of the boat, her name, the Lady of Shalott, and she's going to get in the boat here. And she found it underneath a willow. That's a willow tree. So we have a really picturesque idea of the water and this willow with the branches dangling into the water. And if you Google Lady of Shalott images, you will see lots of paintings of this scene. And down the river's dim expanse, like some bold seer in a trance, seeing all his own mischance, with a glassy countenance, did she look to Camelot. So here she is in the boat with this look in her eyes as if she's a seer. And a seer would mean someone psychic, someone in touch with secrets of the future or of the universe. So she seems like a mystical being, and this makes sense because her life has always been strange, but now she knows she's going to her death. So at this point, it's almost like she's seeing into her own future. Remember, she had a curse on her, and here's where the curse kills her. So she goes down the river in the boat as if she can see the future, her own death, her own mischance, which means her misfortune that's coming. Her countenance, that is her facial expression, is glassy. So a person looking at her would think that she looked a little odd. And this is how she's going down the river looking to Camelot. And at the closing of the day, she loosed the chain, and down she lay. The broad stream bore her far away, the Lady of Shalott. So as bright and shiny as part 3 was, here the day is dimming, ending imagery to go with the ending of her life. It says she loosed the chain and down she lay. So she wasn't in the boat yet, but now she's in the boat, lying down. She loosens the chain that is tying the boat to the shore, and now she's really going to float down the river, lying down in the boat. And now we get a description of her. Lying robed in snowy white, that loosely flew to left and right, the leaves upon her falling light, through the noises of the night, she floated down to Camelot. Well, that's pretty self-explanatory. She's in her white robes, going, lying down, floating down the river. And again, we have these ending images like the falling light and noises of the night, right? So she's going to Camelot, the place she's seen only once through the window and then before that in the mirror. And as the boat had wound along the willowy hills and fields among, they heard her singing her last song, the Lady of Shalott. Oh, it's getting sad. She's singing a song going to her death. Even though it's beautiful here, the willowy hills and fields, it's as if her song is floating over the countryside. Heard a carol, mournful, holy, chanted loudly, chanted lowly, till her blood was frozen slowly, and her eyes were darkened wholly, turned to towered Camelot. Oh, she's dying. She's died, right? Her blood has frozen. Her song went from being a mournful caroling song, to being first loud and then lowly, means quietly. And then her blood froze and her eyes darkened. And she still turned toward Camelot, though. It's almost as if her goal has been to go to Camelot, the fabled city of the Knights of the Round Table. For ere she reached upon the tide, the first house by the waterside, singing in her song she died, the Lady of Shalott. So it means that by the time she reached this first house, the current, the tide, brought her to the first house of the Camelot village. She had died. Singing in her song she died, yes. Under tower and balcony, by garden wall and gallery, a gleaming shape she floated by, dead pale between the houses high, silent into Camelot. So this is people seeing her from their homes in Camelot. They can look out to the river and watch this boat going by with this woman in it. So under the towers or standing out on a balcony, they can look down and see she's a gleaming shape floating by, dead pale, and silently floating. Out upon the wharfs they came. So out upon the docks, out upon the wharfs they came, knight and burgher, lord and dame, and round the prow they read her name, the Lady of Shalott, right? Because she painted it on the boat. So everyone came, knight and burgher. Knight, of course, you know, is the fighting armor knight. A burgher is more like a person who's wealthy and who is of a business class type level. Lord and dame, the nobles. So all of the people came to see this boat going by. So they were in wonderment looking at this woman, and it says that all the cheer died in the castle. And that just means that they were having a good time. Now they realize, wait a minute, something serious is going on. So everybody gets quiet, they come out to see. And then they cross themselves, which is this is in a Christian context, so this is the appropriate kind of signal for blessing yourself, asking God's presence in this situation. But Lancelot mused a little space. He said, "She has a lovely face. God in his mercy lend her grace, the Lady of Shalott." And that's the end. So Lancelot gets the last word. He notices her in a special way, and that makes sense because she noticed him in a special way, and he has no way of knowing that he's even the reason that she left her loom and left her mirror. It was his passing by her tower that inspired her to come out into the world where she knew she would die because of this curse. So she pretty much, embraced life because of him and embraced death because of him. And now it's nice that at least he took some special notice of her, even though he cannot figure out or know that he played a special role in her life. He at least says, well, she's interesting. She has a lovely face. And he says this blessing, God's grace be on her, the Lady of Shalott. But it is a sad tale because she dies, and it's a tragic tale. She's doomed from the beginning because of the curse. So I hope you enjoyed going through the poem with me. Check out my other video for some more interpretations of the poem, and hope you'll join me for the next video.